Yo, what's up guys, Draconia here for another Dragon Ball Legends video. Next week should be, as far as I know, the reveal for the part 2 for Legends Fest, so I think we can look now at this part 1 and give it a judgment just the same way I did for the Legends Anniversary. I'm gonna look at each part before the next part starts and kind of look at how I would evaluate the celebration. I would judge different categories from a scale of 1 to 10 to give it an exact number. This is obviously completely opinion based, so it could be that you think some things I criticize are not that bad, or some things you think it's way worse. So the categories we're gonna look at are these follows. We're gonna look at the reveal. I think the reveal is a big thing for the anniversary in my opinion, or even now Legends Fest, so the Legends information video is gonna be judged, and we're gonna look at the banners of the new characters as well as the new characters themselves, and then lastly new content. I'm not gonna look at, for example, raid and something like challenge battles or something like that, because we usually get this in every celebration for anniversary and now this Legends Fest campaign, so I'm not gonna look at that, but I will give this in this category most of the time already like maybe a 5 out of 10, unless they're removing a lot of stuff. Like if they're not doing any raids or any special events at all, then I would lower it, but I think 5 out of 10 to give it a start, because they're always giving us stuff, but I'm not gonna include that every single time because it would be hard to judge if I look at everything they're gonna like from events for free CC they're giving us. So they're gonna get a 5 out of 10 in that regard already, and then we look at like new characters we got, free to play, Zenkais, etc., and then decide how to rank these. So yeah, let's just start with the first thing, and that's the Legends reveal. We're not gonna look at the whole thing here again. I'm just gonna click through, I would say, stuff I'm gonna look at and say if this is, I would say, good or bad, or what we just simply got for this campaign.
Hello everyone.
So this is basically a recap, everything as always, that's nothing special. Stuff like this I'm not gonna include here, that you get tickets and things. That this is something we always get, so I'm not gonna include that. The first big thing here is obviously now the reveal of the new characters. We have Gotenks here, we then have LF Janemba, who in my opinion, out of this whole reveal was the most surprising thing, because I think a lot of people expected it in Synchro Gauge Gogeta, and honestly it was about time. But I think Janemba was not on the list for most people, because I don't think many people see Janemba as in like part 1 headliner worthy character. For me personally, I don't mind Janemba. I'm rather a fan of Janemba than a hater, because I mean, of all the villains I can think of, Janemba is one of the more cooler ones, because he has unique attacks, unique abilities, and he just looks cool. So for me this wasn't really an annoying thing or something, but for other people I think this was more a surprise, because not many people expected him as a part 1 headliner. And then yeah, tag Goku and Vegeta, who fused to Gogeta, which is obviously something really bad pictures pick here. Yeah, I think this was in total, I would say, good. What else did we get here? Supporters for Genyama and Baba are, I guess, alright. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of supporters. I think this is okay. What else in the reveal should I mention here? I mean, these are the abilities for the new characters. Then what's the next big thing? I mean, this is also a rather new thing that they introduced. I think I will talk about this later. This is the same as usual. Then announced it for the event exclusive Jiren, the Scouter for Reddit for his free-to-play supporter, which is, I would say, also a funny thing for this reveal, because I did not expect to them giving us items as a supporter, but yeah. And then lastly, I think this was the next big thing, the plat equipment for Ultra free-to-play Super Saiyan Goku, also a good thing here. But when it comes to the reveal, I mean, we always get equipment, Zenkai announcement for anything, so this is not the craziest thing ever. And then the metal cooler buff is probably the last big thingy here. Yeah, if I have to actually rank this, I think I would give it a 7. The main reason why is there were not that many like really surprising things here. I mean, again, many people expected Gogeta. There was no new mechanic in here, so that wasn't like something very big. But I think Janemba was a good surprising thing. I think the free-to-play Goku plat equipment was also something people didn't expect, so I think it was okay. That's why I'm giving it a 7. But for me to be it an 8, for example, or a 9, or even a 10 out of 10, I'm thinking. I mean, if you think back about like maybe Legends Fest 2021, where they get brand new mechanic with the tag switch, that was way more hype than that here. Like, I mean, we got a lot of Gogetas already, so this is probably also part of the reason why it's not like that crazy. Like, we got every single unit here already in some kind of way. We have an Ultra for Janemba, we have Ultras and the LF already for Gogeta, so him having a Synchro Gauge is bumping this up to a 7 for me. But if he didn't have a Synchro Gauge, honestly, it would probably be a 5 out of 10. Just basically the same as last year, because last year we got Vegito, who didn't have a Synchro Gauge, and Goku Black. They all look cool, but you know, we expected something a bit new, like new mechanic, Synchro Gauge. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for the reveal here. I think this is fine. We're gonna look next at the banners for these two. To look at how good these are. I'm not gonna include the supporters for this, as well as the new characters. Like, I'm not gonna judge the banner based on who's the better left character, because I think that's not necessarily fair. I'm rather looking at what else does this banner have to conclude if this is good or bad, because I can already tell you, I think both LFs are pretty much fine. So, starting with Janemba, we have here Metal Cooler as inside the left, as well as Kefla, Triku, LF Broly, Orange Piccolo, the Gammas, then Zenkai's Final Form Frieza, as well as Gogeta Blue. So a lot of LF units in here. And when we look at who's usable, I mean, these guys are not. Meta Cooler got a buff, so he is, I would say, okay. Kefla, obviously not meta relevant anymore at all, but I think if you want to force, you can use her. She's not like I don't think she's unusable, I think. But she's obviously getting replaced by Gogeta and everything. So, but she's a rather new unit, same as Metal Cooler, so I think this is fine. These 3 guys are too old at this point, and Gamma 1 and 2 got their second unique equipment a few months ago, so they're also not horrible to use. So I would say 3 usable side LF units for this banner, and 1% don't really matter here at all. So I would say this, in comparison now to Gogeta's banner, you don't have anything really. I mean, these guys are not that good. They're not even left. Don't know why they're here. Vegito, not good anymore. Gotenks, not good anymore. Vegito, like everyone here is basically too old. The Zenkais are nice to have as a bench, but obviously you're not using any of these guys. So if you compare in terms of value, Obviously, Gogeta banner is way worse. You're either putting Gogeta Gotenks or nothing. So this is rather, I would say, a bad banner if you think about it. I think Janemba's banner is far superior. I mean, now you could argue, okay, Metacooler not the greatest unit, Kefla not the greatest unit, and Gammas as well, but at least out there are 3 usable LF characters that you can pull here, and this banner has nothing. So, but when it comes to giving the banners a number, I mean, I would give this banner here a 7. Just simply based on the fact that you have some usable units. Not that crazy good, but usable. And this Gogeta banner, honestly, a 4. Obviously the new units bumped this up to the 4, but that's besides it. So I could go lower with this because they actually, I could give this a 0 if I wanted to, but like this is also just a 7 simply because they're left plus the usable units kind of thing. So I think the LFs themselves plus the new 1% sparking and the supporter are for me like make this a 4 and then these guys here bump it up to 7. I know this is a bit of a wonky thing here what I do, but yeah, I'm gonna give this here a 4 and here a 7. For me to bump this up to an 8, we would need someone like Android 13 in here, for example, to bump this up really high. 7 is the best I'm gonna give this thing, and this here, yeah, stay at 4. So I will at the end of everything show you what I'm gonna calculate here. So yeah, leaving this here, the banners 7, 4. Let's move up to the next thing here, and that are the new 3 units. I'm gonna start with Janemba, obviously here. Or do it? No, actually, I'm gonna start with Gotenks. Gotenks. He is okay, I would say. Now, obviously, not the best 1% sparking ever. I mean, compared to the Legends Anniversary, he's not better than, for example, Kaon Caulifla or Kaba or Tien and Chaozu or Krillin. I would say he's definitely better than Nappa, but I mean, yeah, the bar for Nappa, beating Nappa is not really high. So I think he's okay. He can be useful. Obviously, having endurance is a good thing. The green cards he spawns for the team can be really good, and he's supporting, so I think he's okay. I would give him 5 or 6. I think 5. Like, he's just barely okay for me, so I will give him a 5. He doesn't do much crazy things, so, and his disrupt relying on 3 hits is not the best thing ever, so yeah, I'm gonna give him a 5. And for context, I'm giving all these things here, like, there are different rankings and then divided by the amount of things I have to talk about. For this example, this is, I gave this a 7, this a 4, so I'm going to add these two numbers and divide them by 2 to give the overall number value for the banners. And I'm going to do this with the new characters as well, and then divide this by 3 because these are 3 new units here. So yeah, Gotenks with a 5 out of 10. Janemba, I will say, what comes down to giving this guy not a 10 for me is honestly that he doesn't have a new mechanic. Because I'm gonna let Gogeta slide with the Synchro Gate because we haven't gotten that for a while. But Janemba, especially Janemba, who is, again, many people question if he's a good part 1 headlining character to begin with. and he's a unique character. Like Janemba again, he has the sword that he gets. He can, you know, open portals to, you know. I mean, if you saw the movie, you know what Janemba does. Like the portal, so he can deflect blast key attacks. Then him dividing many particles and coming back. Like these are all cool things, and I think this unit, they could have done something with him more unique. But generally as a unit, I like his design. I think I've downplayed this guy a lot when it comes to my opinion about this guy, but after using him for a while now, and I enjoy this unit a lot. I think he's balanced. I think can do really good damage. It's still questionable to me how good he's gonna age, because again, when it comes to powerful opponent or creating the best teams, he's not necessarily the unit you're gonna like. If you have every unit in the game, he's not necessarily a unit where you're like, okay, this is the third character you're definitely gonna pick. But I think he does a good job at what he wants to do. He has endurance. Again, very good character. He's balanced and not broken, not toxic at all. So this is honestly, I would say a 9 out of 10. If he had a new mechanic, he would be a 10 out of 10 for me. But I'm gonna give him a minus for that one. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for Mr. Janemba here. And as well as another thing I want to mention, this is not gonna be a minus point, but just my opinion about this. I'm not the biggest fan that this part 1 is a whole movies only, like one theme, like movie, like it's just the Fusion Reborn movie. I prefer splits themes, so it's more exciting. I mean, thinking about, for example, Legends Fest, was it 2023? With Evo, Ken, and Beast Gohan. I think it was more surprising that we get Beast Gohan as well, because we had everyone expected Evolution Blue Vegeta, an attack character with Kaioken Goku. We got these guys, was exciting, and then we got a surprise. Then Beast Gohan as a split theme with Universe Survival Saga. I think that was really cool. I think that's missing for me here, but I'm not gonna give this a big minus because of that. So yeah, back to the next unit here. Tag Goku and Vegeta / Super Gogeta. Also a not toxic unit at all. I think the most broken thing about him, which annoys me the most, is probably the armor break. But that's actually it. I think the Tag Goku and Vegeta were solid characters. They're not toxic, they're not broken, they're just, I would say, really good. And the fusion, while it comes with him being an insane damage dealer, he then has no disrupt at all. Like, not really that it's something that matters, so he's very easy to kill in comparison. Like, if you compare these two guys, this guy obviously has the bigger damage and a slightly better defense, I would say. But then he doesn't have endurance, so it's easier to rush, he's easier to ult kill in comparison to Janemba, who tanks worse, I would say. Maybe has less damage, but then he has endurance to compensate, he has the rush ceiling. I think if we look at these two guys, I think obviously Gogeta is the better unit, but I think both are very usable. I don't think you made a wrong decision by summoning each one of them. I picked Janemba and not regretting anything. And I think people who summon for Gogeta won't regret this for now. We don't know what's coming for part 2 and part 3. Could be like Legends Anniversary this year and they get completely hard countered, but as it stands right now, I like this unit a lot. He's obviously very good, but not toxic. He's not just, I mean, he is a brain dead character in the sense that you just clicking cards to do damage, but it's not like he has like busted mechanics to get easy priority. He has like, you need to use this unit properly. You don't have to just, okay, I click a green, click instant priority or anything. Like timing and everything, you still have to do that with this unit. You can get punished a lot with this unit as well. So again, balanced character. I like this. These are two units I would say that go through the new philosophy of Legends. So I think these are rather good two new headlining LF characters. I think I would give this guy, what would I give him? I'm not gonna give it a down thing because of armor break. I hate the mechanic, but it's not enough for me to give this time minus. I think I would give Gogeta a 10, honestly, considering that he has the synchro gauge. Now you could argue he could have gotten also a new mechanic, but I'm letting it slide with the synchro gauge, so yeah. I'm giving this guy a 10 out of 10. I don't mind him at all. Now obviously when it comes to the tags, I mean, movies, this is all great. Fusions was already best team, powerful opponent as well, so this is why I personally didn't want to see these two, but for the execution of the units, and I think them releasing these guys and I personally not wanting them to release because of the tags, I don't think it's fair as a judgment here, so yeah. 10 out of 10 for Gogeta, 9 out of 10 for Janemba. I would say really good LF characters for part 1. I hope they continue with this. Then next we have new content. I think we got 2 weeks of, updates for Wednesday where we get our updates, and the first things were these 2 things. Free-to-play full power Jiren and the equipment for the Ultra Goku. Now Jiren, to be honest, when it comes to free-to-plays, I never have high expectations at this point. He's okay. I don't think he's horrible. I don't think he's good. He's okay. I would consider him a free-to-play unit. So I'm giving a 5 out of 10 for this, because if you remember if you remember Anniversary and the free-to-play Gohan, or maybe the Golden Frieza, and I think even Jiren, the other one. I think you guys know what I would consider. I would say a lower than 5, and that would these guys. This guy, I can see him as a free-to-play character. I haven't seen him in PvP because why would you use him? But yeah, could be. Only thing I have to say that his timing is just really bad, considering that Rival Universe isn't the thing. So to test him out at his best, you would need a Rival Universe battle member, and he doesn't really have a good partner for this. So yeah, maybe he becomes a testable free-to-play unit after part 2, but we'll see. And then Ultra Goku, I mean, for the fact that this is basically just him doing only damage, he's doing his job extremely well. I think he's a top 10 character. I think he's a very usable unit, and as a free-to-play, I did not expect him to be this good. His damage is like probably the 2nd highest in the game, something like that. Like when it comes to burst damage, he's like really, really good, because like he doesn't have to build up. He has all his damage here. With the Saiyan battle members, a lot of damage. Only thing that's a minus is that he doesn't have card draw speed, I would say. He doesn't have card protection, anything as well, but to be honest, he's just a good damage dealer who tanks decently, and minus 15 key every time he gets hit. As a unit like this who has like really good stats with the equipment, I think this is a very good thing they did. So 10 out of 10 for me. I think this is a very very good thing. I like this a lot. For the first week, this was, I would say, rather good. And then for the second week now, which is basically was yesterday, the Ultra Instinct Goku equipment, which I would say, in terms of how good this unit is, this is a 10 out of 10, no questions asked. This guy is really, really good. I fought him a lot already. I don't like this guy, but I think he's a really strong character, so yeah, it's UI. I'm not a fan of UI, never was, never will, for obvious reasons, but he's good. He's just a good character. So yeah, this is nothing else to say. I guess the last thing I could talk about, which I didn't mention here, but I'm not gonna include this for this thing, is No, actually, I'm gonna do it. The meta. I think the meta is also a thing for which I should look at for the parts for the anniversaries or Legends Fest, because if you think about last year's Legends Fest, for people who think Part 2 was good, all I have to say is this was probably the worst meta of all time. So, and this is a big reason why I don't like Part 2 of Legends Fest. I think most people didn't like Part 2 of Legends Fest, or maybe even Part 3. So that's really important. And if I look at this meta right here, I think it's really good, because it's not just, oh, you need Gogeta, Android 13 on Janemba. It's not like you need Gogeta, Zamasu, and Android 13, and this is the only team you see. You're seeing very different teams right now, I would say. Teams with Janemba, like you see movies, you see fusions, you see powerful opponent, maybe a mixture of fusion units and powerful opponent, like Saiyans with Namek Goku, the new Ultra UI Goku. I see a lot of double team life with Namek Goku, Ultra UI Gogeta, or with Android 13, or the blue MUI. So we have like a lot of different team variations right now. Sometimes the future, although this is a rather rare occasion. Same with Godkey. But I think there are a lot of different teams. This is very good. I mean, there are also teams that I don't like. I mean, WIs. I don't have to explain why this is annoying, but when it comes to the variety and toxicity of this game right now in PvP, I think it's actually pretty good. I mean, honestly, the most toxic units I can think of right now, in my opinion, are MUI, Ultra UI, and Namek Goku. The UI units, because, you know, they're passive as hell, and Namek Goku, I don't know, it's just, the most toxic thing is obviously the Feign, but when it comes to this login, obviously we got a lot of anti-login counters at this point, so it's like, okay. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess the Ultra Zamasu paralyzed as well, but overall this is pretty good. This is also, I would say, a 10 out of 10 when I look at this. So yeah, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna quickly put all these things like in a calculator, and I will give you the numbers again, so I will put it in a video so you guys see what I'm calculating here, but so yeah, see you guys in a minute when I'm gonna calculate everything. Alright, okay, I'm back. So to recap, every single category that we got here, including the one new one, which was how well the meta is, because I forgot about that. So we have the Legends reveal, then we have the new banners, the new characters, as well as the new content, which includes how good this new unit / equipment performed, and then lastly the meta. So 5 categories if I didn't miscount that, and I'm gonna give you everything I'm gonna put in the calculator and give you the end result, and that is a 7.76 as an end result, which is, if you round that up, an 8 out of 10 for this campaign. But keep in mind, this is only just considering that I'm looking at every content here that they gave us. So if I would, for example, when it comes to content, I think the last week was fine with these 2 units, 2 things here, but this week only Ultra UI Goku is obviously a negative point. We should have gotten a Zenkai with this, and this is obviously a minus point. So if I would consider that into my calculations, how much? The question is, how much do you bump that down? That's the biggest problem if I'm gonna do this as a minus point, because am I gonna give this a -5? Am I gonna do this with -3? -2? Or is it just a -1 point? I don't really know how to do this in that case, so this is why I didn't include that. I mean, you guys could tell probably at some moments I was like really unsure how to evaluate this, especially when it comes to the banners. Because I gave this, I said, okay, new units are already like 4, when it comes to points of 4. How do I come to this conclusion? How is that the 4? Why it's not a 5 or even lower? I mean, you guys can tell why this is a bit of a wonky situation here. But if I would give in this, like, let's just say I would give for not having a Zenkai this week -2 points. We can make this calculation with this in mind. It will probably go down from an 8 to a 7, which is not the worst thing ever. I think 7 or 8 out of 10 for this part 1 is, I would say, totally fine, because when it comes to the new units, when it comes to the equipment they gave us for the ultras and everything, they have done a pretty good job. I think the content they gave us is pretty good. So again, I would, from my personal opinion or feeling, if I not calculating anything, how I feel about this, I would go within 7 or 8 as well. So I think this is fine. Let me know what you guys think about this Legends Fest Part 1. I think Tuesday should be the reveal, if I'm not wrong. I'm very excited for this. Hopefully I can do a reaction this time properly, and my yeah, all you guys.